Hi everyone, it's Ms. Humphreys here. Today we are going to work on the the fourth page. So we've done our cover, the line page, shape, and the color page. Our fourth page is going to be value. So value is really just highlights and shadows. So I have a pencil here, I have a color pencil off to the side. One thing I want to do, so I'm going to create a value scale. This is also, I want you to do this in your Flipbook as well. So a value scale, and I could use a marker, or I'm going to use a marker to outline just so I can tell the difference between the pencil and that line. So this is when, this area here is going to be the lightest, and this area is going to be the darkest. I'm going to use a pencil for this part. So the lightest area, that's just, your pencil is barely touching the paper. And if it's too dark, that is too dark, so I'm gonna erase. One trick I like to do is I like to start on the darkest side. And as I work my way to the lighter side, the pencil markings get lighter and lighter and lighter. And I know my iPad is wobbly because of the table. And as I work my way over to the lightest side, you can see where it's really dark. This is where I'm putting a lot of pressure on my pencil to build up the darkness. And as I work my way to the lighter side, I'm not putting hardly any pressure at all. I really just want that pencil to just barely graze the paper. And you want it to be pretty evenly blended as well. You don't want to have these really harsh areas of dark pencil lines, and then it's that really harsh separation into the lighter side. So you want it to be as blended as possible. So I used my pencil for that area. I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to do this same thing again, but I want you to use a color pencil. So same thing, this is going to be the lightest side over here, and then the darkest side will be over here. And if you don't have a color pencil, don't worry about this part. But it's really cool to see the light to dark transition when you're using a pencil, and then also when you switch to a color pencil. So same as before, I'm using a color pencil and just really applying a lot of pressure on this side of that rectangle. And as I work my way towards the lighter side, my pencil is just barely touching the paper. And sort of here in the middle is where this is a great area to sort of experiment and apply a little bit more pressure and a little bit more pressure. But this is what I mean. So in this area here, I don't want to see, you shouldn't be able to see exactly where you applied more pressure. You really want it to blend really nicely. and it helps to color in different directions. That also helps to build up the pressure and the value of the color. And so the next thing I want you to do, I'm gonna pick a different color here. The next thing I want you to do is on your paper, on this page, I'm going to use, you're going to make something go from 2D to 3D, because adding value to something, that really helps turn one object into something that looks 3D on paper. So with a color pencil, I just drew 2 circles. So this is going to be my 2D, and this is it's going to change into 3D. So I want you to imagine that the light is coming from this side. So our shadow is going to be over here. So this is going to be the darkest area. And I'm just going to use my color pencil and apply that pressure. I'm going to make a better circle here. Okay. So with my color pencil, I'm applying a lot of that pressure, and because the light is coming from this side, there's going to be this little oval, this round shape right here. That's going to be the brightest spot. So that's going to be the spot where most of the light is hitting, so there's not going to be hardly any shadows. I'm going to very lightly color in the shape that I have here. So I have my circle. I'm not coloring in one direction. I'm sort of changing the direction of my color pencil so that I can create this 3D illusion on my paper. So I used my color pencil to create a 3D illusion on my circle, so now it's more of a sphere. And I also created the shadow, because if we have the light coming from this side, that shadow is going to be on the right. If the light's on the left side, the shadow will be on the right side. So you can also color your 2D shape. You don't need to, but adding value to a shape is going to make it, it's going to give it that 3D illusion. So that is our value page. We used a regular pencil to show our value from the very lightest to the darkest, and then a color pencil to do the same. We also made our 2D shape into a 3D shape. Now for the next page, this is going to be our form page. So I'm going to separate these 2 pages, and this will be for form. Now a form is pretty much a 3D shape. So if I were to take, I'm going to use a pencil for this, a color pencil for this. So if I had a square, it's not the best square, but whatever. If I have a square and I want to make it 3D, it would then turn into a cube. So adding extra lines to this shape, now I have this form of a cube. And that's one example. I'm gonna use a black pencil to sort of give you like an x-ray of this form. So you can see that back, the back side of it there. So I have this form of a cube. Another example of a form is a pyramid. So that would be a sort of a 3D triangle. And to make that, it's a little bit more difficult, but I would start with kind of a parallelogram shape. And then add the sides to it. Not very good, but so a pyramid is another example of a form. One example I don't want to forget is a rectangular prism. So it's really similar to a cube. I'm just going to make a small one here. But starting with a rectangle, adding more of those lines to give it that 3D shape, so that now I have a rectangular prism. I'm just sort of giving you that little x-ray there. So now I have a rectangular prism, a cube, a pyramid. Another example of a form is a cylinder. So it would be sort of like, think of a paper towel roll, like a roll of paper towels. And then to give it that x-ray so that you can see the shape that the cylinder is. One I don't want to forget is a sphere, which is something we just created on our value page. So the front of the sphere is, we want it, it's going to be round, and then to give it, to sort of show you that x-ray back there where it's a round shape, so like a beach ball shape. So on your form page, make sure you are adding your shapes. So we have pyramid, cube, sphere. I don't know how to spell very well. Rectangular prism. After you have created both of those pages, make sure you take photos and upload them to the assignment so that you can receive credit. That is all I have for you today. Have an awesome day. Bye.